When you stop treating trading as just a side hustle, welcome to stealth trading. It all begins with a choice. Sometimes, that choice comes after a brutal shock, like blowing up your account in minutes because you overtraded. Other times, it's after a big take profit, what should have felt like a win, but instead of celebrating, you're left staring at the screen thinking, if this were my main income, what now? That's when the questions start creeping in. You begin to see clearly. As long as trading remains your side gig, your results will stay half-baked, like a nameless relationship that never fully commits. Some moments feel small at the time, but end up changing everything. One broken stop-loss rule wipes your account clean. One unexpected news event erases a week of progress. Or it's just that moment when you look back at the journey so far and feel completely powerless. You've spent so much time studying, reading, trading, yet everything just keeps looping. No growth, no collapse, just stuck, suspended in a fog of frustration and uncertainty. Then one quiet evening, no charts, no signals, just you, a mirror, and a question rising inside. What do I really want? Where am I going? Is trading a path you're ready to fully walk, or just a temporary shelter during uncertain times? The moment those questions surface, you've already stepped out of your comfort zone. You're no longer that trader who enters trades out of boredom or analyzes charts just to feel productive. Now, you wake up early to catch the news. You spend weekends backtesting your system. You write in a trading journal, not just the entry and exit, but also your mindset, your reasoning, your lessons. Every action now has intent. Every decision is considered. Trading becomes part of your daily rhythm, quiet, steady, and committed. You start to realize, if you want trading to support your life, you have to live with it responsibly, not with impulsive passion, but with discipline and clarity. And that's when the gaps within you start to reveal themselves. You're still swayed by emotions. You still don't have a solid plan. You still take trades based on a feeling it might go up. Not because your system gave a signal, but most importantly, you stop blaming everything else. You stop blaming gold. Stop cursing the Fed. Stop getting mad when news doesn't go your way. Instead, you start asking, did I do my part? Do I really understand this market? Am I honoring my risk management rules? Trading starts teaching you lessons no course will ever mention. No teacher, no reminders. Only the cold, fair market, silently punishing carelessness and quietly rewarding patience. You begin to realize many of your losses weren't the market's fault. They came from your lack of understanding. And many of your wins, they don't mean you're a genius. They could just be luck. And if you learn nothing from that luck, the market will take it all back, with interest. The day you decide that trading is no longer a side hustle, that's the day you step onto a much longer road. You're no longer just passing through the market, you're now living with it. You'll have to learn how to manage time, make decisions under pressure, stand your ground when the market tries to knock you down, and maybe hardest of all, you'll have to learn to accept when you're wrong. Soon, you'll start saying no more often. No to plans, no to vacations. Because the market is entering a sensitive phase, you'll sit alone while your friends hang out, just to wait for confirmation at a key level. You'll feel the sting of a loss caused by a surprise announcement. You'll feel drained after a week with no clean setups. But you'll wait patiently because you know acting out of impatience destroys everything you've built. That's the first cost you pay. The cost of taking trading seriously. But in return, you'll grow day by day. You'll stop dreaming of 5x, 10x trades. You'll begin to understand. Trading is not a get-rich-quick path. It's a psychological journey where you face yourself every single day, where you learn to let go of greed, control fear, and stay calm in the storm. Runway, endure shar. Runway, main honor. And finally, you understand. Trading, when it's no longer a side hustle, is not for the half-hearted, and that's exactly what makes you different. The moment you stop treating it like a part-time gig, you discover something. Your emotions become your most dangerous opponent. You used to enter trades because you felt the market was about to turn. You used to close positions because of a bad vibe. You used to double your size to recover from a previous loss. You called that intuition. But once trading becomes your main path, you realize that was just wishful thinking in disguise. Discipline is no longer a fancy concept you hear in books. It becomes your daily companion. It shows up in every action, every decision, even in the moments when you do nothing, especially when the market looks tempting. And here's the hardest part. It's not about making the right move. It's about holding yourself back from making the wrong one. Trading teaches you, sometimes, doing nothing is the wisest move you can make. You start to build your system, not from feelings, but from structure. You define clear entries, exits, stop-loss zones, and profit targets. You track your setups, study the win rates of each pattern, eliminate distractions that pull you away from your edge. You no longer expect every trade to be a home run. You just want your wins to be solid, and your losses small. Discipline becomes your compass through chaotic price zones. It won't eliminate risk, but it helps you survive. And in trading, survival is the first rule of success. You learn to place stop losses, not out of fear, but out of respect for your system. You accept getting stopped out without anger. You don't try to get revenge on the market by jumping into more trades. Instead, you step back. You write down what went wrong and walk away. Because now, you understand. If your mind isn't stable, no strategy will ever save you. People start asking you, why didn't you take profit earlier? Better safe than sorry. Why didn't you jump in when it was clearly moving? You don't blame them, because you used to think the same way. But when you've lived in the market long enough, you start to see. That's not trading. That's instinct. And instinct, when it comes to financial markets, is a double-edged sword. You start managing risk with real discipline. No more going all in just because something feels like a sure thing. You break your positions down. Protect your capital like it's your lifeline. You no longer let one bad day ruin an entire week of discipline. You let go of the urge to chase losses because you know the market doesn't owe you a thing. And when everything feels like it's falling apart, discipline becomes the only thing you can hold on to. 3 losses in a row. You don't crumble. You check your system. Did you follow your plan? If yes, you continue. If not, you pause, correct your mistake, and move forward. You understand that no one wins forever, and no one loses forever, as long as they stay disciplined. Then, slowly, something inside you starts to change. You no longer feel that rush of excitement when you spot a clean setup, and you no longer sink into despair when the market moves against you. The emotions are still there, but they don't control you anymore. You start making decisions with logic, not feelings. And that right there is the biggest shift in your entire trading journey. Trading, when it's no longer a side hustle, is like standing between 2 worlds, one filled with dreams of freedom, the other harsh and unforgiving. And discipline is the only bridge that gets you safely across. If you give up halfway, you fall into the pit of self-doubt. But if you keep walking, slow and steady, you'll get there. Discipline isn't something you're born with. It's forged each time you want to break your rules, but choose not to. It's built each morning you sit down to trade, even when last night the market slapped you in the face. It grows from the pain, the lessons that cost you real money, tears, and loneliness. You begin to realize success in trading doesn't come from some magical strategy. It comes from doing simple things with discipline, consistently, over a long enough time, like a farmer tending his field, 1 row at a time, like a soldier standing guard, never leaving his post, never looking away. And one day, you look back and smile. Not because you've made it, but because you've become someone you can trust, if you're still listening at this point. And if this story hits close to home, don't forget to like the video, so we can spread this message. And if you know someone who needs to hear this, share it with them, so they don't have to walk this road lost and alone. Thank you. Truly. Trading isn't a stage. There are no spotlights, no applause. No one cheers when you win, and no one sits with you when you lose. It's just you and the cold glow of the screen. Every early morning, every late night. Have you ever stared at the chart, minute by minute, and wondered, am I really on the right path? Have you ever felt like you're living in two worlds? Out there, it's loud, busy, chaotic, but inside, it's quiet, sealed off, just you and those moving numbers. When trading is no longer your side hustle, you also enter a world where loneliness becomes part of the job. Not the kind of loneliness that comes from being alone, but a deeper kind. The kind that comes from no one truly understanding what you're doing. You talk about price zones, risk management, discipline, stop losses. Your friends shake their heads. Your family stays silent. Your partner may love you, but they can't feel the weight you carry every day. You tried explaining once, tried to share. Then you realized, not everyone is ready to listen to things they've never lived. And you wonder, am I living in a world too far removed from everyone else? Will this choice cost me the connections I once held close? Trading seems like a job full of freedom, but what you don't see coming is how often it locks you inside your own silence. No boss to blame, no teammates to talk to. Every decision brings you face to face with yourself. There are days you take no trades, not because you're scared, but because nothing is truly worth the risk. You sit there for 8 hours, watching the market drift by like wind over a still lake. No one sees it, no one needs to, but you stay because you understand this quiet waiting is part of the job people on the outside will never understand. And sometimes you wonder, is this silent effort really worth it? Am I betting my youth on a dream too fragile? But in that loneliness, you start to discover the most valuable skill of all, listening to yourself. You begin to feel the rhythm of the market. You recognize your own reactions, your emotional patterns in each swing. You're no longer euphoric on wins, nor destroyed by losses. You've learned something vital. Strong emotions usually mean one thing: you're losing control. No one may notice, but you do, that your growth isn't measured by your P&L anymore. It's measured by how calm you stay when the storm hits. There are nights you cancel plans just to watch the New York session. Sunday mornings when others are still asleep, you're up, reviewing your trading journal. You don't do it for applause. You do it because you know this work doesn't need an audience. It just needs your honesty. And in those lonely hours, you begin to see each small step of your progress. You no longer break your rules. You stop out when you're supposed to. You pass on tempting trades because they don't fit your system. You stop chasing the market. You start letting the market come to you. You used to think loneliness was a weakness. Now you realize sometimes it's the soil where real growth begins. A quiet space where you can reflect, correct, and move forward, not loud, but steady. Trading, when it's no longer a side gig, is not for those afraid to face themselves, because at the end of the day, this is a game with no enemy but yourself. So what about you? Are you ready to walk through that lonely place? Are you ready to meet the silent version of yourself, and through that quiet mirror, find someone stronger? In the world of trading, there is nothing more important than discipline, and nothing more tempting to break. Have you ever written out a clear, precise trading plan, only to throw it all away the moment the market started to move? You press the button, because it feels like the price is about to explode. And then, you lose. You get angry. You whisper to yourself, I knew I shouldn't have done that. So why do we still do it? Is discipline there to protect us? Or is it just another chain, keeping us boxed inside rigid rules? You're not alone in that question. Almost every serious trader has stood at this same crossroad. One side, freedom, flexibility. The other, discipline, rules, systems, rules. In the beginning, you might see trading as an art form. You believe in instincts, gut feelings, and a little rule breaking here and there seems harmless. But the deeper you go, the more you realize trading is not a place for thrill seekers. It's not a casino. It's a craft. And those who master it aren't the most talented or the luckiest. They're the ones who show up day after day, silently, ruthlessly, with calm minds and clear plans. So if you're here, trading not for fun, not for thrills, but because this is your path, then embrace the silence, embrace the structure, because within them lies your edge, and through them, maybe, just maybe, you'll become the version of yourself you've always been chasing. Trading may seem like a battlefield, but only those who can control themselves survive. And so you begin to ask, am I trading according to a system or emotions? Do I truly understand the role of discipline, or am I just enduring it like a burden? Discipline is not rigidity. It is the foundation of freedom. A disciplined trader doesn't get swept away by sudden news or dragged around by the market. They know when to stay out, when to enter, and when to stop. Discipline is the shield that helps you survive the biggest storms. But if you don't understand the why behind the rules, you'll feel constrained, and eventually, you'll break them. So the real question is, are you building your discipline based on understanding, or just because others said you should? When you start taking trading seriously, you build your own system. You journal your trades, you review your losses, and ask, why did I lose here? What signal did I ignore? Eventually, you realize, most losses don't come from the market. They come from within, from the smallest breaches of discipline. Maybe it was just one impulsive click, or moving a stop loss because you hoped price would bounce. And those lapses, they always cost more than you expected. So, do you have the courage to say no to a trade you know you shouldn't take? Do you have the patience to wait for the right moment, even when the market is moving and you feel left behind? When you truly understand it, discipline isn't a chain, it's a compass. It keeps you from getting lost when the market shifts too fast. And if you go far enough, you'll see that success in trading doesn't come from spectacular wins, but from consistently repeating right actions with discipline. You don't need to win every trade. You just need to stick to your rules enough times. And then you'll realize the market doesn't require you to be extraordinarily talented. It just requires that you stop sabotaging yourself with repeated mistakes. So what will you choose? A few minutes of euphoria from breaking the rules and winning one trade? Or years of steady, disciplined work that lets you actually survive in this profession? To the beginner, discipline is a barrier. To the seasoned trader, it's a runway. When trading becomes part of your life, it's no longer just a job. It's not just mouse clicks and charts. When trading is no longer your side hustle, it becomes the rhythm of your daily life. You begin to change. And then you realize the real transformation isn't in your account balance, it's in how you see the world and how you face challenges in life. Do you remember how it all started? Your first day in trading, fueled by dreams, ideals, and the hope for financial freedom? But now, you know the path isn't as easy as you once thought. So now, when trading becomes part of your life, do you still hold on to those ideals? Do you realize this isn't just a game of money? This is a game of time, discipline, and patience. You've probably felt exhausted, frustrated by loss after loss at OIT. But in those moments, you learned your greatest lesson: perseverance. When trading is no longer your hobby, you stop seeing each trade as a race. You begin to see it as a step on a long journey. You stop measuring success by profits, and instead by how your mindset matures, by how you stick to discipline, by how you face loss without losing yourself. Trading teaches more than just finance. It teaches life. You learn to accept your mistakes. You learn emotional control. You learn to face your flaws and fix them. And when trading becomes part of your life, you stop trading for money. You trade for growth, for the kind of freedom that comes from within. So, are you ready to continue this journey? Are you patient enough to see long-term results from your effort? Trading is a journey, not a destination. When you enter the market, you're not just seeking profits, you're seeking yourself. You find yourself in every mouse click, every decision, every moment of emotional control. You may not become wealthy overnight, but you will become stronger, more patient, calmer, wiser. And when trading becomes part of your life, you'll begin to notice subtle, profound changes. You're no longer ruled by emotions. You don't quit when you fail. You stop chasing quick wins and begin building lasting strategies. So, are you ready to walk this path? One that offers not just money, but personal growth. Are you ready for trading to not just be a job, but a vital part of your life? And finally, I want to say a deep thank you to every one of you who has followed me on this journey. Trading is not an easy path, but if you are serious, and if you persist, you'll find rewards beyond money. You'll find growth, strength, and the freedom you've been searching for. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, so we can continue this journey together, exploring, learning, and evolving as traders. Are you ready to keep going? Then join me in the next chapters, where we dive deeper into capital management, emotional control, and long-term resilience in trading. Thank you for staying with me until the end.